Hey guys, my name is John Morelda with CreteShine Diamond out of Southern California here. Today we're going to be showing you how to flush your polyurea pumps. A couple different methods we're going to do. We'll do what we call a quick shutdown. That's if you're going to be using the pump day after day after day. And we're also going to be doing a full shutdown if you're going to be storing it for anything more than 3-4 days. First things first is PPE. I'm wearing safety glasses because we'll be working with XYLENE today. And I also like to double up on my rubber gloves while I'm doing this. As you can see, we just finished shooting our joints, so I'm going to remove the nozzle and then clean the manifold real well. This SB2024 pump from HTS has a nice mount for doing this. You want to make sure this manifold stays clean. The threads, the face of it. You can take a wire brush to it like this. Make sure you keep it nice and clean. You can also take a small pick or screwdriver and make sure there's no obstructions in the manifold. We're going to grease the manifold zerks. Most job sites will have a water bottle you can cut to catch the grease. And grease our B side. We're going to install our nightcap. Make sure your nightcap is nice and clean. We're also going to put just a little bit of grease on the threads to act as a bond breaker. Make sure nothing is going to stick and your manifold nut comes off nice and easy the next day. Install your nightcap. Make sure that's seated nice and well. Now we are going to grease our clean out valves. Get some fresh grease in those. Now that the manifold is greased, I like to take a little bit of extra time, wipe this clean. This is the only part on the pump where A and B come together, so you want to make sure you keep this nice and clean. From here, I like to fill up my ISO side. And you can take a normal trash bag, any piece of visqueen plastic, cut a square and tamp this down on the actual ISO, just like that. The goal here to make somewhat of a blanket to prevent the air from attacking the ISO. When you go to fire it up the next day, pull this off, take your manifold nightcap off, nozzle, you're off to the races. Now that we did the quick shutdown, we're going to be doing a full shutdown. As you can see, we filled some more joints. We have quite a bit of leftover material in our hoppers here, so the goal is to get that back into our pails and we can reuse it down the road. We're going to be removing this nozzle. And installing our nightcap. And then we have to purge the grease that is currently in our clean outs. So we'll get rid of the grease there. You can see the grease comes out. Now we have poly and ISO coming out of our clean outs. So now we can cycle all this leftover material back into the pails. Now that we have all of our material back into our pails, we're going to dump a little bit of XYLENE in both hoppers and wipe out each hopper with separate rags. We don't want to cross-contaminate at any point, so So just a little bit of xylene on both sides. And again, separate rags. You never want to cross-contaminate these pumps in any way, shape, or form. Give the hoppers a quick wipe. Now we're going to take our dirty xylene and purge that into our junk bucket here. I like to purge it through the manifold and not the cleanouts, so we make sure we're running xylene through our manifold. Now is a great time to make sure your manifold is nice and clean. Get the threads nice and clean, the face of the manifold. Take our wire brush again. I also like to take my knife. If there is any boogers on the face, you can go like this, get the boogers off. Now that we know that that's clean, give our nightcap a quick wipe and reinstall the nightcap, because we're going to be cycling our xylene for 10 to 15 minutes through our cleanouts. My favorite feature on these pumps is this mount for flushing with xylene. We're going to throw a little more xylene into both hoppers. Both of these cleanouts are open now. And we're going to let that cycle for about 10 or 15 minutes. Is that the hoses and the hoppers are labeled. You've got white tape on your ISO hose with a white sticker on your ISO hopper. Now that we've cycled our xylene, we are going to purge the xylene back into our junk bucket. You can remove your nightcap. Now's a good time to check that both of your A and B streams look pretty consistent. You got even flow on both sides. Now that we have no xylene in our hoppers, we still have xylene in our hoses. So we're going to add a little bit of motor oil for storage. You can use motor oil, hydraulic oil, vegetable oil, whatever's cheapest at Home Depot or Walmart. A little bit of oil on both sides, and then we're going to pump this oil through the hoses until it comes out of the manifold. When we're done doing that, we just have to make sure that the oil level is above the screens in the hopper. We're going to run this till we see oil. There it is. As you can see, our oil is just below the screen, so we're going to add just a little more oil to both sides. From here on out, this is the same exact procedure as a quick shutdown. We're going to grease the manifold. Little bit of grease on the threads. Make sure your nightcap is nice and clean. Install your nightcap. And now grease your cleanouts. Once again, spend the extra time, clean your manifold well, take care of this pump, and it will take care of you. Couple things, you only want to use xylene. You don't want to use MEK, no acetone, no alcohol, xylene only. If you have any questions about flushing this pump, you can reach out to your local HTS rep. Go to htspoly.com, or feel free to give us a shout here at CreteShine Diamond, 714-986-1500.